Okay, it's the next day, and let's talk about some lessons learned. By seeing what I did wrong, maybe you guys can avoid doing the same thing. So this is the first piece, the large piece. It's all cured. The fiberglass did take a longer time to cure than I anticipated. And here's the thing, the thicker you lay the fiberglass resin on, the quicker it's going to cure, because again, like leaving it in your batch container, the more material that is in a group of mix, the more heat that gets generated across the whole mix, and it will cure quicker. So when it goes on thicker, it cures quicker. And here's the point. This piece I put on with the remainder of a batch, and I stretched it out. I ended up brushing it in, so it's the thinnest one. And the issue here, it's not a big deal for me because this is the bottom side of a lid. But a lot of the fiberglass fabric, the checkerboard mesh is showing. Again, not a big deal as far as strength goes. It's stronger if it's completely covered by the resin. But for keeping it clean, this is going to be covering a water-filled receptacle. So you're likely to get some kind of growth in all these little square nooks and crannies. So I want to get that coated so that it's a smooth surface. It's easier to clean, less likely to have things growing in it. So by trying to be efficient and save time, I ended up causing myself more time because I'm going to have to go over this again with another layer of resin. So the takeaway from that is don't put it on too thin. It's just going to cause you more time, and it's going to take longer to cure in the first place. Keep it on thick. This is where a thick section went. You can see it covers the mesh quite well. Now, let's put some light on in here. I think you can probably see these ridges that are evenly spaced. There's a ridge here, there's a ridge here, one here, another one there. What that is that's the creases from the fabric. The fabric was rolled over, like folded over in a 6-inch wide sections. And after I put it on here and started putting the resin in, it kind of relaxed back with the crease. And I'm getting a little bit of a high spot. So I'm going to end up doing a quick sand on this. When you paint fiberglass, you need to rough up the surface according to the manufacturer with like an 80 grit paper. And I guess I'll end up painting it because it's going to look, this looks okay for my use, being just a form follows function kind of utilitarian use. But once I sand it, it's going to look like this piece. I don't think that really is very nice looking. So I'll end up painting it, which is fine. Painting is just an extra step I don't think I need, but it's certainly an advantage, a cosmetic advantage. So that's what we see here. Now, I ended up getting most of that rolled edge on there, but not completely. This piece where we use the 4-ounce material really came out nice. Look, you can almost see no mesh in there at all. You can with the right, if you look at it with some glare across the top, you can see some of it, but this is about as good of a result as you can hope for. The mesh is completely fused with the, when I say mesh, I should say cloth, it's completely fused with the resin. It's nice and clear. It just looks like polyurethane wood. There's the edge. The edge has stayed, for the most part, completely rolled over. Really nice. And typically this is what I'm looking for. Now when we have the next side to do, I'll trim this off and get a flat layer on there and just make sure I get some resin across the edge so that we get these pieces bound with the next piece. On these, I'm not going to trim it. I'm going to just use this as a lip to catch the next layer of fiberglass. Same here. So this one's nice and stiff. It's all very hard. You can see the difference here between some mesh, some cloth that was completely saturated and cloth that's not completely saturated. You can see the woven piece there. So we're going to do the back side of this one, the back side of this one. I'm going to do the front side of this one.